Oh yeah, pipe smokers! Happy Friday! Thank God. It's 5 o'clock, right on the money, the 16th of February, 2024. Yeah, I was this close to opening. I've got 2 tins of Seattle Pipe Club plum pudding bourbon barrel aged. And this stuff is from 6 of 2021. So it's getting close to being almost 3 years old. And I knew I had opened a tin of this because I remember I did a video about it. And I didn't go back and look at it, but I remember because in each one of these tins, it's soaked in a wet bourbon barrel, and then they take a chunk about that size that's still wet, and they throw it in the tin with the batch. It's and I remember opening it up, being like, "All right, this piece of wood is dried out now. The tobacco absorbed it, and I found it. There it is, right there. Yeah, I opened it on 12/5/2022. It's over a year ago, but I remember, and I'll tell you, you open this tin up, whew, just the smell of it will almost get you drunk. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. So, unlike a lot of people that I've talked to, a lot of people will be like, well, I pick out my pipe first and then what I want to smoke in that pipe. I'm 99% different most of the time. I pick out a blend. And maybe that's because I've got a lot of pipes. I pick out a blend and then I pick the pipe to go with the blend. For me, that's just easier. I don't know. Anyways, cheers. Happy Friday. Yeah, Smarty Bob, understand you're getting a little snow out there. Good luck with that. So, we have our plum pudding, which I can't wait to smoke. And I put it in our Rhodesia pipe. Rhodesia, however you want to pronounce it. Handmade for me. And it's full. Let's set something on fire. I know, man. That don't disappoint. It's got bourbon, Latakia, Turkish Orientals, Virginias, Cavendish, and Perique, which actually is really close to what I just did here. Latakia, Bright Virginia, Orientals, Black Cavendish, and Perique. In our little small batch here. I did take some of that out, put it on my cutting board. We blended that on the 10th of February. And I did dry it out for about an hour, just enough for a small bowl. It's good. Bourbon barrel aged plum pudding. So, one of my subscribers, his name is Ken Milburn. He loves the Sutliff vanilla custard. And I happen to have 3 pounds here of it. I don't know. This is from April of 2021, unopened. And that's from September of 2021, unopened. And this one, for some reason, doesn't have a date on it, but I suspect probably around thereabouts. So those are about 3 years old. Coming up on 3 years old. Cheers. And his concern was, and from the sounds of it, sounds like he bought it in bulk, which I fell in love with it. So obviously I bought 3 pounds. Actually, I bought 4 pounds. That's what's left of the other pound. And Ken, I know your concern was, hey man, when I first opened it up, it, just the smell was unbelievable. And now after I've opened it up and it's sat for a little bit, it doesn't smell as strong and blah, blah, blah. And that's normal, especially for something like vanilla custard, because what they're doing is they're putting a lot of toppings in there. So they're putting flavors, they're putting scents, smells, scents. A lot of things go into that. So when you get that brand new bag that's sealed up, all that stuff is backed up in there. When you open it up, it smells real strong. It smells like unbelievable. But then after that kind of dissipates, that charged up fresh tobacco, you're down to what it really should be. And he was concerned, well, the tobacco might be fermenting. Well, all tobacco is going to ferment as it ages a little bit. So, and I can tell you this for a fact. Here is some Sutliff vanilla custard. You can tell I've enjoyed it. That's what I have left of a pound. All right. And it's from December of 2021. And I open the bag, I smell it. Nowhere near as strong as if I had opened those up, but let me tell you something. It's all still there, bro. Smoke that, it ain't gonna taste no different. Just make sure you do this. All right, here's what I do. Let me stand up and do this. What I do, I know you said you put it in a ball mason jar, but if I keep it in the original package, get as much air out of it as I can, and then I seal it up, because these heavy duty plastic bags, this has been in there for over 3 years. It's still moist, it's still fresh, but if I were to open another pound of it, I'd put it in ball mason jars. So Ken, don't worry, your tobacco is okay. Cheers, Ken. Oh yeah. Let's start that beautiful plum pudding on fire again. Oh man, that's so smooth, so smoky. I can taste the bourbon in this, man. That ain't no topping. One of my subscribers, I don't know if he's still subscribed, this was years ago, when I was showing how to infuse, rum with tobacco, and he's like, "Oh, that doesn't work. You got to get a rum topping," and blah blah blah. Well, everything I've always tried with liquor, I've tried both rum, I've tried whiskey, I've tried bourbon, which bourbon basically is whiskey, but bourbon is made in Bourbon County. So the only bourbon whiskey that it could be is bourbon whiskey made in Bourbon County. And they all worked out great for me. So I don't know what this guy was doing, but I soaked my stuff down pretty good. I mean, you can see that's soaked pretty good. Not enough where I've got bourbon sitting in the bottom. It's soaked pretty good. Man, this is good. One thing that I've noticed lately, and we'll pause the pipe here for a second. When I used to clean my pipes, up until maybe 6 months ago, I'd clean them all out, blah, blah, blah. And then what I would do is I would take these bristly pipe cleaners and go around the inside, clean all that loose tobacco and stuff out. Well, I stopped doing that. And guess what? I'll tell you. You leave the tobacco. In fact, I'm going to show this to you. I'll be back in a nanosecond. Okay. So this pipe is dedicated only to Ahab's comfort. But it doesn't matter, even if I smoke multiple blends in it. All right, you look inside the pipe. You see the light and dark variations in there? It kind of looks like marble. I stopped scraping that stuff off. Because what it does, I'll tap it out on my hand, I'll blow it out, but I don't scrape anymore. So what it does is when you go to ignite your next bowl, that little bit, you can see it real good right there. See how bumpy it is? That's like just a tiny bit. It's mostly burned, but some of it isn't totally burned. When you load your next bowl, that's going to burn and turn into carbon, and that's how you get carbon buildup in your pipe. It's called cake. That's how you break a pipe in. And the thing about pipe smoking is you always are learning something, and it's from somebody else or something that you do by mistake. So I don't scrape them out. I don't do this anymore. I don't take and scrape that out. It's like, no. I'm going to leave that in there. Then when I light the next bowl up, it's going to turn all of that partially burned tobacco into carbon buildup on the inside of my bowl, which is going to insulate it. And then, you let it get up to about the thickness of a United States dime, maybe 3 millimeters at the most, maybe 2 millimeters. I don't know. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've graduated to a cigarette. So you can see this is last night's bowl, okay? And let's get the ash out of there. All right. So I got the ash out of there. All right. And then I just go like that. And look. You can see this one's getting carbon buildup in it. See that stuff? That shit you just leave alone. If it doesn't tap out in your hand, let it be. There we go. That one's getting broken in. Now I'll run the pipe cleaners up through the works, and never, if you're going to clean a pipe, never do it when it's warm. Let it get stone cold. In fact, a lot of times before I clean my pipes after I smoke them, I'll wait till the next day, you know, and just take them apart, you know, just like that, you know. It's got a little grime on the end. Wipe it off on your blue jeans. Yeah. Run that baby up through there. Oh yeah. Got some tar coming out of there. Ah, there we go. Yeah. Just like that. Now this is a part where you're going into the bottom of the bowl. That's going to collect a lot of tar. I just keep going back and forth with my pipe cleaner, and she comes out like that. A nice blow through it, and that's clean, man. That's ready for the next time. I'm building up carbon buildup in this pipe. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. And I can feel it with my finger. So, we have our one Jim Beam glass of bourbon on the rocks. Cheers. Wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to finish up the smoke, and then we'll come back in a nanosecond and finish up that pipe. Okay, and we're back. That's just a couple of the tricks that I've learned. Let's set this baby on fire. Plum pudding is so good. Thank God it's Friday. Don't have to set my alarm for tomorrow. I always wake up a half hour before my alarm goes off anyways, and then kind of just lay there and open one eye. All right. We got 15 minutes left. And when it reaches 2 to 3 minutes before it starts going, I get up, I turn it off, and do what I got to do to get ready. Man, this plum pudding is so good. Yeah, so anyway, I looked at this next week's schedule, and nobody in my group has overtime except for this one guy. And he begs for overtime. Overtime is when you work over 40 hours a week and you get paid 1.5 times your normal hourly rate for any time over 40 hours. So they give him 10 hours a week overtime. I'm like, why would they give that guy 10 hours a week? The guy, 3 minutes before first break, He's walking out to his car to get high. Comes back 3 minutes after the get your ass back to work bell rings. Smells like marijuana. Reeks of it. Doesn't follow directions. He gets high, first break, lunch, second break. He gets high, comes in high. And they give him 10 hours a week overtime, and none of the rest of us. Not that I would want 10 hours a week overtime. I'm happy with my 40 hours a week. If they gave me 5 hours a week overtime and said, come in an hour early or whatever, I'd be like, great, okay, that's a little extra money in my pay. Why would you give the stoner of the group that doesn't listen and doesn't work up to par with the rest of the team all the overtime? It makes no sense. I think he went and cried to the plant manager. Well, cheers to him. He's a good guy, but, you know, what? He doesn't deserve 10 hours overtime. Doesn't do the jobs. I won't even get into it. Oh, well. It's Friday. Who cares? I'm loving my plum pudding. Bourbon barrel aged. This beautiful pipe. And right now, for this moment, that is all that counts. Let me tell you something. This Rhodesia pipe is starting to get broken in because, like I said, I'm not taking a pipe cleaner and basically reaming it out every time I smoke it. Don't do that. Trying to debate whether I want to go out tonight, sing some karaoke, or stay home. I'm leaning toward staying home and saving money. Man, this is so good. If you love Latakia and you love bourbon, man, if you can even get a hold of it, this Seattle Club plum pudding. Let me hold the tin up. Now, Seattle Club plum pudding, bourbon barrel aged. It's not on the cheap side no more. But it's good. Why is it good? Because I can taste the bourbon. I can taste the Latakia, the spices of the Puri. Just relaxes me. Which, for Friday night, man, I'm loving life. Wonder how my subscriber did that was asking me. I think he's from South America. Wondered how did you make out on eBay, mate? Finding a vintage pipe. He wanted a nice Canadian vintage pipe. Hope you found one. I gave him some tips and so forth. This is so good. And with the bourbon on the rocks. It just don't get no better. Whew. Well, anyways, hope you enjoyed our Friday night smoke together. We may or may not come out with a couple of tunes. I have a lot of new subscribers, so I haven't done Friday Night Blues in a long time. I am not going to lambaste them with 7 or 8 songs that I sing on karaoke in my living room. I might do 1 or 2, possibly. Any requests? Anyways, I'm Paul the Pipe Guy, live from the outskirts of Rochester, New York, in the United States of America. Thank the Lord. God bless you all, and happy pipe smoking, pipe smokers. Over and out.